Hello, and welcome to Upfront. My name is Dean Thullner Veljacic, and we are filming on the unceded Nanaimo traditional territory. On this episode of Upfront, I have the pleasure of sitting down and chatting with Marc Taschereau from Coco Cafe. Hi Marc, how are you?
I'm good, thanks for having me, Dean.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming. Recently, as you know, I went to Coco Cafe. You were kind enough to give me a delicious breakfast, but Coco Cafe is so much more than just a cafe. Let's talk about that. What is Coco Cafe?
Coco Cafe is a social enterprise, and so it was founded by four families who were looking for opportunities for their children who had developmental disabilities and were sort of aging out of the government programs.
I see. Okay, well, I wanted to read a quote here. It says, over 20,000 adults in British Columbia grapple with intellectual impairment. Many encounter marginalization, discrimination, and substantial barriers to employment.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so you are actually changing that for us.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, absolutely. And so for 13 years, you know, Coco's has been sort of at the forefront of providing training, development, socialization, opportunities, and employment for people with developmental disabilities.
Fantastic. Okay, so I read on your website, it says, where inclusion meets flavor. What does this mean?
Well, you know, obviously for Coco's, I mean, 73% of our team are people with disabilities. And that's a huge percentage. They are part of every facet of our business. But at Coco's, we make everything, almost everything, from scratch. And so as you experienced, it changes the flavors of everything when you do it from scratch. And so these team members are there every morning and every day, you know, helping us put that together.
So we're going to be playing some photos through this interview, and there's going to be lots of photos with some of the team members. They're quite heartwarming. They're really interesting, but what I saw in those photos is how passionate these kids are about having this experience.
Yeah.
Life-changing.
They absolutely love it. They are an integral part of a team. They don't feel like an odd person out. And their work is valued. They get to see, you know, things go from the very beginning all the way to completion to where they're handed to a customer. There's a lot of satisfaction.
And so you said, just to be clear, you said disabilities. What is the definition of that?
Well, I mean, you know, the program was actually started for people specifically with developmental disabilities, but we've actually broadened that a bit. And so we have, you know, people, you know, with, you know, physical disabilities, we have people with cognitive disabilities. Yeah, it's sort of right across the spectrum.
Amazing. So what is the commitment of the cafe? What does it look like?
The commitment in what respect? Sorry.
Well, like you provide employment and training and socialization, but how does that, what is the long-term commitment of that for the community?
Well, you know, we've been part of the Cedar community for a long time, and so we help these individuals find a place in society. You know, we sort of run 4 different channels for people. There are some people who will be with us for a very long time. There are some people who will be run through a program and actually out in you know, the job market in a relatively short order. But the idea is to help these people find their place in society, help them gain valuable skills, and to become a valued member of society.
So it's like you're giving opportunities for kids that might be finishing school that may not have a trajectory of where to go.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got individuals sort of right across the spectrum as far as age, because we have adults, you know, we've got people well into their 40s working with us as well. So you never age out of our program.
Right, okay. I'd like to talk about the cafe's continuous inspirational vision and what that includes. So I visited your website and I found a few topics that I'd like to unpack here. So what is opportunities for socialization?
Well, you know, I think, you know, as you've noticed, you know, people can feel ostracized in their own community. They feel maybe like they don't fit in. And we're providing an opportunity for them to be a member of a team, to participate, and to connect with the community. And so this gives them a chance to feel what it's like to be, you know, a full, inclusive part of a community.
Okay. Now it says diverse, tailored opportunities. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, well, really a big part of our focus is it's not a cookie cutter approach. We actually want to take a look at each individual team member, assess them, build a plan around them to develop their unique potential, and then continually reassess and change the program and tailor it to them continually.
So maybe we should talk about what are some of the job opportunities? What are the tasks of the day? What are we doing at Coco Cafe?
Well, it could be anything. We've got people who might be washing dishes. We've got people who are putting together components for baking. We've got people who are baristas, cashiers. We've got people working the hotline. And so really anything you could imagine in the business.
But it doesn't stop there. When I met you and we had a conversation, you told me that one of the individuals that started working there now sits on your board of directors.
Absolutely.
So there's lots of opportunity here.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, visibility in the community. What is the importance of that? What is the importance of that visibility? How does that nourish them?
Yeah, well, we're trying to draw attention to not only the cause, but the value these people bring to society, and make people aware that this isn't something that we want to overlook. If you've ever had somebody who's faced challenges work on your team, you realize that they bring a very unique perspective and energy to your environment. That brings value all on its own.
Yeah, people used to say disabilities, and I think we can all agree it's more about different abilities, right? Everyone has a gift to give to society.
Absolutely. We like to use the term diverse abilities.
Diverse abilities.
Absolutely.
I love it. That's great. Okay, you have a sustainable business. How important is this?
From our perspective, we kind of walk the walk and talk the talk. And so, Coco Cafe is a profitable business all on its own. The idea is that we take our profits and then we reinvest them into our own charity. And so the nice thing for anybody looking to invest in our business is that we cover our own administrative costs, we cover our own rent, our equipment, that's all taken care of. We're actually, like I said, a profitable business looking for help because there's more demand than we can provide for.
I can imagine. Well, I went onto your website, which, by the way, is, just in case anyone wants to check it out, is www.cococafe.ca. It's very transparent. So you list your annual impact report, and it is so impressive. 4% goes to administration.
Yeah.
48% goes to labor, and the rest goes to supplies, utilities, and hard costs.
Absolutely.
My background is fundraising. I can tell you that it's very uncommon that a charitable organization only has 4% for administration. That is so commendable. How do you do that?
Well, and it's because we are running a business that augments, it pays for us, right? So we don't, like I said, we're not looking for donations to cover those expenses, right?
Yeah, it's just always so disheartening when I go through finances for charitable organizations and see that these people sitting at the top are taking exorbitant amounts and it trickles down to not enough funding for the actual cause.
Absolutely.
So congratulations, it's quite remarkable. So what has been the outcome of this initiative? Let's talk about some heartfelt stories. What can you share with me?
It's fantastic. As you mentioned earlier, we have a member that sits on our board that had that was a member of the program, and they went on to a successful career and then have come all the way back to working with Coco's all over again. We've got people on the team that may have started out just working, doing some prep cook, and they've worked themselves up to barista, they've worked themselves up to cashier, they've worked themselves up to the hotline. These are people who are going to have careers. They can actually plan a life. They have their own dreams, their own passions, right? Mm-hmm.
But it's so much more than just skills. It's empowering self-worth, it's finances, it's sustainability of looking after themselves.
Absolutely.
Yes?
Confidence, relationship building, these are all skills that they learn there. And they learn to work in that team environment. It's a lot, absolutely.
So are these kids coming directly from the school system, or maybe some of them are coming from alternative learning programs? How do these employees come to you?
Sure, well, we work with partner agencies, so people like the Nanaimo Association for Community Living will provide people to us that are looking for development. People will reach out to us directly and say, hey, I've got a child. So we have a variety of avenues. and we're always working through a list trying to develop people and move them along, right?
What about the Nanaimo School Board? I know they've got the Take a Hike Foundation, they have the Flow program. Do you see kids coming from those programs as well?
Not directly at this point. We do work with the school district, absolutely.
Right. That's really good. Okay, so what is the Coco College? So not only are you employing these kids and they're getting all these life skills, but there's a college on top of it?
Coco College, yeah, it's fascinating. And the idea is we've taken a look at how we assess and build these plans for individuals. We realize that there's a greater opportunity for us here. And we're working with mathematicians, we're working with brain health consultants on developing these programs. And so we've developed better assessment tools, and the programs themselves are getting more tailored. So you could think of it more like a college where you can actually take this component of a program and this component of a program and build it out so somebody has this end result. And that's what we're looking at.
Okay, so to circle back then, what are you seeing when these individuals leave Coco Cafe? Can you share some of the stories of where they've continued to go on to, or what this looks like in the future for them?
Yeah, well, I've only been with Coco's for just a little under 2 years now. In my time, I've seen people move on to successful careers in food service.
Oh, great.
But I'm passionate about looking for more than that. And that's where we're working towards. It's not just the food service industry, because we've got people who are capable of training, we've got people who are capable of management positions, and I'd like to see a much broader reach.
Yeah, it's very inspiring. The other thing I noticed on your website is that you do catering.
Yes.
So let's talk about the catering.
Sure. We used to do weddings and large events like that. That's not something that we currently offer. But we do, a lot of corporate, we do a lot of luncheons and stuff like that. It's fantastic because it works well for the supported team members. And it fits in with our business model, because remember, we have to maintain profitability because those are the dollars that fund our program.
Of course. And are you funding this cafe through any grants, or is this community funding, or just through the sales of the business itself?
No, we definitely get some funding from outside sources, absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What other community support do you get?
Well, we have volunteers that work with us from other charitable organizations. We have volunteers that come to us from churches. The community itself has rallied around us at different points in time when we've needed. And so,
Well, you've got no shortage of support. I went to see you on a Saturday and I couldn't even get a table. There was a lineup outside the door. Yeah, for sure. But what about partnering? Like, you're obviously getting, I noticed on your website, you're getting food from local farmers and producers. How is that working for you, and how does that sustain?
Some of the companies that we work with are like, Cisco, Canterbury Coffee. They provide us discounted product that makes it more viable for us to do what we do. Those have been great relationships for us. The NACL has been a great partner. The Nanaimo Foundation has provided us funding and resources. So these are all great partners that help make this possible, absolutely.
And are you looking for more partners?
We're always looking for more
So
partners.
if you're watching the show, reach out to Coco Cafe at www.cococafe.ca. They're always looking for support, for sure. Okay, so what is Coco to Go?
Coco to Go is basically take-home meals.
Right.
And so we've got a wide variety of frozen food that are affordably priced, that people can come pick up, bring home, and prepare quite easily. Yeah.
So, okay, but this is a huge, colossal undertaking. You've got these kids working all day, you've got lineups outside, and when do you fit in making meals to go? How do you do this?
Well, that's part of the process. And I mean, if you've seen our location, we've got, sort of the front kitchen that everybody sort of sees. And then we've got a much larger back kitchen where you'll actually see the supported staff, working diligently all day long. It gets pretty busy back there.
I bet.
Yeah.
You've recently gone into renovations as well, I think.
Yeah, Yeah, we did a bit of a refresh, and there's still some work going on. Absolutely. So yeah.
Great deck outside. I happened to go, the first time I went to go see you, the deck was packed. Beautiful location, for sure.
Absolutely, and Wayne Proctor was kind enough to actually pour that and put that fencing around there for us, so that was fantastic.
So lots of community support.
Absolutely.
Great. I wanted to touch today on Coco Cafe's charitable work.
Sure. Well, especially, this time of year, we start to see a lot of people, trying to stretch their budgets. We've got a lot of holiday things coming up. Obviously, everybody's tight. And so, we provide low-cost meals, we provide free meals, we deliver meals downtown and in the community. People in need can come into the cafe and we'll just provide them a meal.
Low-cost meals. How would someone get a low-cost meal?
Well, they can reach out to us again through the info@cococafe.ca is probably the best way to do it. That way they can connect directly with me and we'll take a look at what their needs are and how we can help.
Okay, that sounds great. So you just said you are providing meals for downtown. Meaning marginalized people on the streets of downtown Nanaimo?
Yeah, people who are struggling to find housing.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what we do is we prepare hot meals and we run them downtown looking for people who are in need. And
Again, a colossal undertaking. Who's driving these meals downtown? Volunteers?
Often me and volunteers, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you and volunteers.
Yeah.
So I've never seen a charitable organization that is that has enough volunteers.
No.
So if I wanted to volunteer for Coco Cafe, how would I go about doing that?
Again, email info@cococafe.ca or give us a call 250-323-2223.
There you go. And so you're looking for a variety of skills.
Absolutely.
And a variety of time commitment as well?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some interesting, possibilities for people who are interested. It's, whether you're talking about working directly in the community, working hands-on in the kitchen, supporting baristas or cashiers. There's lots of different areas that people can get involved.
Great. So we can't have a conversation about Coco Cafe without talking about the delicious food that you provide on a daily basis. I think it was the traditional Eggs Benedict.
Yes.
Hands down the best Eggs Benedict I've had in my entire adult life.
Thank you, sir.
Let's talk about some of the food that you offer. Let's get the audience excited about visiting you.
We love to play with our food. And, I grew up, my father was a restaurateur, and there's a lot of passion in our business for food. And so, as I said, we make this stuff from scratch. We're not opening packets and adding water. And so you taste it, as you experienced. You taste the difference in that. Absolutely. Yeah. When we're talking about, a lot of the products that we're using a lot of stuff that's locally sourced. We're using high-grade product. So yeah, it all impacts the flavor. But really, it's the passion behind it and the team's interest. And so we've got people like Katie, who's our head baker. Katie is always coming up with creative things to put in that pastry case. We're always trying out new flavors and playing around with things in the kitchen, and so running that out and running them as daily specials. It's fantastic. There's a lot of joy in it.
The whole environment has so much joy.
Oh, thank you.
But we're still not talking about what is it that I can order on the menu. Let's tease the audience here. What can I order when I go to Coco Cafe?
Oh, well, the Eggs Benny are always a great place to start. We have a great West Coast Benny made with smoked salmon, pickled red onions, capers, our house-made hollandaise sauce. We've got, lots of wraps. We've got breakfast plates. Sort of a wide variety of things to play around with there. And then, daily we're running different specials, and absolutely.
Well, the pastries looked great too. I couldn't do it, I was already full. So Cedar is a bustling community. It's growing like everything else on Vancouver Island. You must have a lot of community support just in the communities that are businesses that want to drop by for lunch as well.
We do. I mean, I don't think there's a business in Cedar that doesn't support us one way or another. And we see so many of those friendly faces every day. Country Grocer, Island Savings, they've been big supporters, and we see them all the time.
It's a really cute little enclave there that you're built into. It's a lovely location.
Absolutely, and we're surrounded by lovely people.
Oh, I'm good to hear. All right, so I want to talk about how we can support you and how we can get involved. So let's talk about some of your greater needs. What do you need?
Well, funding is always, absolutely. Equipment, it's, some of our equipment's getting a little long in the tooth and it requires a lot of maintenance and upkeep. So these are all things that if every dollar we have to spend on equipment is a dollar that we're not spending, supporting people in need.
So equipment. So we're looking for funding for equipment, but we're also looking maybe for some people to donate equipment.
Absolutely. I mean, let's face it, we're not a small place and we require quite a bit of refrigeration and cooking equipment to keep it all running, absolutely.
Well, I read on your website that you can make a donation and every $25 you donate provides one supported employment hour.
Yes.
And again, just so the audience knows, they are a registrable charitable organization. So if you decide to make a charitable donation, you will receive a tax receipt. Again, the website is cococafe.ca. You can go online and make a direct donation. You can contact them again at info@cococafe.ca. You can go there in person and enjoy a fabulous breakfast and make a donation there. But they're also attached to the Nanaimo Foundation. Can you clarify that? How does that work?
Well, the Nanaimo Foundation has provided funding for us, so they help support our program. But they also have the ability to accept donations for us. And so you can actually go to the Nanaimo Foundation website and you can actually donate directly to us from there.
Amazing. I wanted to, Marc, I wanted to touch on something. I don't know that every day we're inspired, right? And I felt so inspired at your cafe, but I also wanted to read a quote. It says, "A mentor is someone with the willingness to help others, who has the capacity to inspire, a determination to work hard and a clear sense of vision, an aspiring purpose and a deep sense of integrity and appreciation for joy." Marc, you are so dedicated to this. And when I had that meeting with you, I was so touched and heartwarmed by your passion and your need to support this. Why did this come to you like this? What brought you to make this decision?
We're all touched by people in our lives. I don't think there's a Canadian who doesn't have a friend or a family member who's affected by some form of disability. And it's time that we stop looking at them differently. We need to accept that this is part of our society and we need to provide opportunity to everybody. For me, I have family members with disabilities and I want the best for them. And I think we all want the best for the people we love.
Oh, it's commendable. And I think Coco Cafe is so commendable. Again, I just want to talk about where it is. It's in the heart of Cedar. It is located at number 4A, 1840 Cedar Road. They're open Monday to Sunday from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'm going to give you a heads up. If it's a weekend, you might have to wait a little bit. It's very popular. It's very well received. And their food is absolutely amazing. Trust me when I say that Coco Cafe is more than their tasty treats. This mission is so impactful. And I'm asking the audience to go on their website at www.cococafe.ca. Help them out. Make a donation. They need equipment. They need support. It is a sustainable business. Like I mentioned, 4% only goes to administration. I can stand behind this charitable organization and I can tell you from the heart that this is absolutely making an impact and a difference to not only the community itself, but the individuals that get to work there. Marc, is there anything else you'd like to share with me?
You know what? It has been a privilege for me to work, with the people at Coco's Cafe. This is the most amazing team I could imagine. I think for anybody to experience it, just to see the effort, the joy that these people bring to the community, that's an experience in itself.
It's definitely, you will witness it. It is so apparent. Listen, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Upfront. Again, Coco Cafe, Cedar, please check it out, make a donation. They need your support. We'll see you next time. Thank you.